Carvana has certainly been a roller coaster ride in the business world over the past decade. There's plenty to admire and equally plenty to critique. For those who haven't been closely tracking its journey, there have always been surprising developments. Let's dive into a quick recap because this story is too intriguing to miss. Often dubbed the Amazon of used cars by the company itself, Carvana has made a name as a pioneering online-only used car retailer. They were trailblazers in scaling up this concept, dramatically shaking up the industry. Perhaps their most iconic innovation is the car vending machine, towering 10 stories high, housing numerous vehicles. Although I haven't personally used one, I'd love to hear from those who have, as they seem quite a spectacle. Initially, this novel approach proved hugely successful, but the company's fortunes have taken a turn for the worst. Just look at the stock prices for a snapshot of this now struggling company. From over $375 per share in August 2021 to under $10 by December 2023, wiping out nearly $58 billion in value in less than 2 years. During this period, founder and CEO Ernest Garcia III saw his net worth plummet by 98%, dropping well below the billion-dollar mark. Moreover, there's growing concern that Carvana might be heading towards bankruptcy. Not so long ago, they were celebrated as one of the fastest-growing, most successful enterprises. Now, they're teetering on the edge of insolvency. This dramatic ascent and descent are precisely why we felt compelled to make this video about Carvana's tumultuous saga. But before we continue the video, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, like button, comment below, and also share the video. Thanks for watching. So, how did it all start? In 1990, Ernest Garcia II, a real estate developer entangled in a significant scandal with Lincoln Savings and Loan, pleaded guilty to a fraud scheme involving concealed land ownership near Phoenix. This complex affair not only precipitated the bank's failure, but also resulted in Garcia receiving a 3-year probation sentence. During this time, he acquired a bankrupt car rental business, transforming its assets into a used car dealership that catered to customers with subprime credit. He renamed the enterprise DriveTime Automotive, which, over the next few decades, expanded into the largest retailer of its kind, with over 100 dealerships across numerous states and annual sales reaching about $1 billion from around 50,000 used cars. Many are familiar with this extensive network of dealerships, perhaps without knowing its origins. The story of DriveTime is particularly relevant because it served as the launchpad for Carvana, initially a minor segment of the business. In 2007, the son of Ernest Garcia II, Ernest Garcia III, a Stanford University graduate, joined DriveTime, taking on various financial roles and eventually ascending to vice president and treasurer. Over 5 years, he gained deep insight into industry trends, especially the growing influence of the internet on car sales. He observed that consumers were increasingly conducting online research, often gathering more information from various websites than from salespeople. This realization led him to believe that the car buying process could be shifted entirely online, aligning more with consumer preferences for a digital experience. In 2013, DriveTime invested $50 million to launch Carvana as its subsidiary. That same year, Carvana introduced its first car vending machine in Atlanta, allowing customers to conveniently pick up vehicles they purchased online. Officially described as an automated parking system, the machine was stocked with cars acquired from dealer auctions. This innovative system simplified the car buying process by eliminating the need for salesmen, a change many consumers welcomed for its speed, ease, and reduced stress. The streamlined operations not only lowered overhead costs, but also enabled Carvana to offer competitive pricing, often well below Kelley Blue Book values. Carvana enhanced vehicle selection through the use of proprietary algorithms to acquire cars, a rigorous 150-point inspection process, and pooling inventory from across the nation, providing more choices than traditional dealerships. This approach, offering lower prices, a broader selection, and the novelty of a vending machine transaction, made Carvana particularly appealing. While this might sound promotional, these features genuinely differentiated Carvana from conventional car dealerships and attracted millions of customers. Initially, the concept faced skepticism due to its novelty and perceived risk, but Carvana addressed these concerns by emphasizing its benefits through targeted advertising, creating a user-friendly website, and offering a 7-day money-back guarantee. This return policy reassured customers, making them feel secure in their purchase despite not having test-driven the cars. Thanks to these strategies, Carvana had seen significant growth, expanding rapidly to serve over 300 markets nationwide. In 2015, they ranked Forbes' list of America's most promising companies. By 2017, their initial public offering raised over $200 million, facilitating further expansion. By 2022, they were selling over 1,000 cars daily and had become a Fortune 500 company, boasting sales exceeding $10 billion. Yet, despite these achievements, Carvana now teeters on the brink of bankruptcy, leaving investors wary and questioning the rapid downturn. Among the various smaller contributing factors, legal challenges have emerged where the company allegedly breached state regulations, resulting in the loss of some licenses to sell cars, predominantly in Michigan and Illinois. However, these issues seem localized and do not affect the majority of their operations. Criticism of their marketing strategies has surfaced too, with annual spending nearing $500 million, including a notable Super Bowl ad in 2022. Despite the criticism, such high marketing expenditures can be justified as essential for promoting their unique business model. The Super Bowl commercial, for instance, humorously featured a customer enthusiastically sharing her positive experience with Carvana. Beyond these minor points, 3 primary reasons stand out for Carvana's struggles. First is the downturn in the used car market. The pandemic-induced supply chain disruptions led to a semiconductor shortage, stalling new car production, and elongating waiting periods for buyers. This situation drove many to purchase used cars, temporarily benefiting Carvana. They capitalized on this surge, acquiring a large inventory at peak prices. However, as interest rates climbed, financing became more expensive, dampening demand for used cars. As chip shortages eased and the market began to stabilize, Carvana was left with overpriced inventory that became difficult to sell profitably. I know that got a little complicated, but in short, for various reasons, the used car market was way up during the pandemic and has since fallen, and that's been one of the main reasons for the rise and fall for Carvana. Comparing Carvana with a similar used car retailer like CarMax, we see that both companies experience fluctuations in their business cycles. However, CarMax's changes were less severe due to its in-person business model. Unlike Carvana's online-only approach, this leads to my second point, the shift back to physical dealerships post-pandemic. Initially, as COVID-19 kept consumers at home, online shopping surged. Once restrictions lifted, many customers reverted to traditional shopping methods, impacting online retailers like Carvana. The second factor in Carvana's downturn is its accumulating debt. This isn't just a pandemic issue. Carvana has been amassing debt long before COVID-19, relying heavily on it for funding without ever posting a yearly profit. This strategy seems to hinge on scaling up and becoming efficient enough to eventually turn a profit. Long-term plan that got a temporary boost during the pandemic, but faltered significantly afterwards. By 2022, the situation worsened as Carvana found itself selling overpriced inventory. They also faced a goodwill impairment exceeding $800 million and a burdensome $2 billion acquisition that hasn't yielded the expected benefits. Furthermore, with nearly $500 million spent on interest payments alone that year, their financial health was dire. Without a significant resurgence in the used car market or substantial investment from a believer in their business model, Carvana's future is on the rocks. My third and last point I would say is the scandal that affected their brand the most, which was the Carvana no-title scandal. Issues arose when customers who purchased vehicles from Carvana experienced significant delays in receiving the proper vehicle titles. The situation led to a variety of complications for buyers, including the inability to legally register their new vehicle. The problem began to gain public attention around 2021, although some reports suggest that issues had been occurring even earlier. Customers across various states reported purchasing cars from Carvana only to find themselves waiting for months to receive the titles. Without the title, these customers couldn't register their vehicles, making them essentially unusable legally. Carvana faced fines and penalties in multiple states. For example, in 2021, Michigan suspended Carvana's dealer license due to its failure to provide titles along with other documentation issues. The scandal eroded trust in the brand, and customers vented their frustrations publicly through various social media platforms, which further harmed their brand. Collectively, these issues really harmed Carvana. Now their future is uncertain. So what do you think lies ahead for Carvana? Is their business model sustainable, or will we see their iconic car vending machines abandoned? Also, I'm curious about your personal experience with Carvana. Have any of you purchased a car from them? Or do you know someone who's purchased a car from them? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. And again, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, like button, comment below, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.